Hello, Queens. I am so excited to be here. Hello, my name is Rachel Onojafe, and I'll give a brief introduction to myself, but I'm so excited to be part of this Empowered Modern Witches Summit. It is incredible. I've been part of this for like the past 2 years, and it's just wonderful every single time. It's such a beautiful community. Thank you for today for bringing us all together, us wonderful witchy people. I can't wait to get into my topic for today. So, a little bit about me. I grew up in California. I now live in the UK, and I identify as a witch, as a priestess, and I am the creatrix and the founder of Cosmic Queen HQ. So I am the gatherer of the queens who want to really bring their dreams to life. It's people who are ready to take action. I do a lot of coaching specifically around business. I create group programs. I teach astrology and human design, and I interweave the cosmic into all of my work. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I love everything cosmic, so I can't wait to get into the topic for today. And then at the very end of today, I'll also let you know about a really special thing that I've got coming up in case you would like to dive deeper with me. And I also have the most amazing bonus. Like, you're gonna love it. You're gonna lose your mind. So good. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me share my screen with you. If I can find the button, yes. Okay, so let's get into the royal treatment. Now, I love this topic for today, the royal treatment, self-love and the rising sign. So you may be a student of the cosmic as well. You may be someone who knows a lot about your rising sign already, but today I'm going to look at it in a different way. And I'm going to really kind of bring to life this idea of queen energy. What does it mean? And how we can really start to embody the royal treatment in our own lives. So I can't wait. I'm all about the practical magic. So it's not just about the concepts and like, oh, that's nice. It's also about like, how can we use this in our real lives, right? Okay, let's get into it. So first of all, I want to introduce you to the concept of new paradigm cosmic queens. What does that mean? How can we be cosmic queens? Are you a cosmic queen? How do we identify this energy, and how is it different, very important, from old paradigm queen energy? And let's also talk about your rising sign, of course, and the royal treatment. So if you're looking for more self-love, more clarity on how self-care specifically works for you and how to support yourself as someone who is ambitious, who does want to go out and do things, who does have big dreams that sometimes feel a little out of reach, a little impossible, like this is the talk for you, because there's going to be so much in here about nourishing yourself so that you can go out there and do the things. Yes, queen. Okay. So first of all, what do I mean by this new paradigm cosmic queen? Like, I created this brand this year on the Jupiter Neptune conjunction in 2002. And I had my coaching business for a few years. And I really went full time in my business when, after I had my baby. So I had my baby during lockdown, during the pandemic, 2020 in the summer. And I just knew that I didn't want to go back to my corporate job. I worked as a management consultant in technology, very, successful, lucrative, high flying, all the things, very dissatisfying, very unfulfilling. And so I was like, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to life and to work than this. And so I decided I was going to go all in on my coaching business. And a lot of you may identify with this, like, there's this moment, right? There's this moment of like this point of no return where you're like, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Oh my God, I'm doing this. We're doing this. Okay, buckle up. Let's go. Shift into hyperspeed. And I just love my work so much. Like, I truly do. It's the work of my lifetime. It's what has helped me so much in becoming the confident and courageous queen that I am today. And when I created my brand and this all kind of downloaded into my consciousness, I was like, oh, okay, cosmic queen, because it's really the bringing together of the ambitious, feminine leadership energy that is rising, and the cosmic, the insight, the wisdom, the understanding of who we really are and how we are all such unique unicorns. We're not all here to do it the same way, right? All right, I'm giving you the preview. I'm doing the talk before I even get to the slides, but let's get into the slides. I like making slides, so, why not? So let's talk about what old paradigm cosmic queen is. Okay, so queen used to mean, and I'm very clear that in my brand and in what I'm bringing to the world, this is not what this is about. And unfortunately, I know that in popular culture, there is a lot of this when people say queen. They often mean a lot of this. So let's define the terms. Queen used to mean rulership over others, right? It's like, oh, I'm the queen, I'm in charge here, you're not in charge, right? Like, that's not what I'm talking about. It used to mean sacrificing your happiness, right? This is also very big in the mother archetype, right? Like, queen and mother archetype are very connected. It's like, oh, let's sacrifice our happiness for our children, our subjects, whoever we think we have dominion over, right? Marrying for economic reasons. This is such a real one still in 2002. This is a hugely real one, right? Feeling like, oh, well, I need to marry someone who has money so that I can be secure and safe, right? And queens had to do that too. Queens had to secure their throne, their kingdom, whatever, through economic means. Also pushing and hustling. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm such a queen, I'm pushing and hustling, like I never stop, I don't rest, like that's for weaklings. Like, no, that's not what I'm talking about either. Trust me, I'm all about taking action. I'm all about doing the things, yes, but not pushing, forcing. Also trying to prove yourself. I think a lot of that queen energy is like kind of like fake confidence, like it's not real. It's like, oh, I'm that queen, but it's like, but do you really believe that? And why do you have to prove yourself? Real queens sit back on their throne, honey. Real queens are like, oh, I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I know who I am, right? It's being the good girl. Oh, this is a deep one. This is a deep one for queen energy and princess energy, being the good girl, the one who always says the right thing, the proper lady. I took an etiquette class once. I passed. Yes, I still slurp my soup off of my spoon. Apologies to my etiquette teachers, but being the good girl, right? This is a very old paradigm idea. Cold detachment. We see this a lot in, well, I don't want to name names, but in the country that I live, right, we see this a lot, this idea of this cold detachment, that is what a queen is. A queen doesn't get ruffled feathers. A queen doesn't show emotion. Toughening up and scrambling to hold on to power. This is all old paradigm, not what we're bringing in, not what is rising in our consciousness today. Now it's a different time. Now it's time for heart-centered leaders to recognize themselves. And when I say that, I really mean like recognize their own leadership. Like there's so many people out here that look at themselves and they don't see a leader, right? They don't see that. And I'm like, no, it's time for us to really see that leadership within ourselves. And it's not because we have dominion over others, it's because we are leading ourselves through our lives. It's also time for wealth to flow to those who will do something great with it. I want to see more wealth in the hands of feminine energy leaders. I want to see, and this is all genders, I want to see more wealth in the hands of new paradigm cosmic queens, more wealth in the hands of people who are going to do something great with it, for themselves, for their family, for their legacy, for their community, for their people, for the world. Yes. Also, it's time for radical responsibility and radical self-recognition. I mean, no one's doing things to us, right? We have so much agency. We have so much choice. We can leave bad relationships at any time. We can create new opportunities for ourselves at any time, but we have to recognize that not only do we have the responsibility, we are that leader that we have been praying for. We are that leader that we have been waiting for. We can figure it out. It's time for queen energy to rise. There are so many cosmic things that point to the rising of queen energy so much in this beautiful age of Aquarius that we are in. I am so excited to be a leader in this space and for you to recognize that you are a leader in this space too, if you so choose. So when it comes to really embracing this idea of new paradigm cosmic queenship, seeing the queen in yourself is an act of defiance. This is not what like the modern culture is telling us to do. Just read a newspaper or a magazine, right? Seeing the queen within ourselves is an act of defiance against the powers that were. I don't even want to say the powers that be, it's the powers that were. It's an empowering move to start to call yourself that, even if you're quiet about it at first, to call yourself like, ooh, I do have this queen energy in me. It's an anti-establishment move, right? Especially people who identify as women, we're meant to be the quiet, good girl in the corner that lets other people have a turn. Really saying, no, I am the queen. This is my queendom. I decide what I'm going to do. I decide what's important to me. I decide to create a legacy for myself and my people. That is an anti-establishment move. It's also a radical self-love move to say, yes, I call myself this. I see this in myself. I look in the mirror and I see the beauty, the power, the uniqueness of who I am. To see yourself as royal, as divine, as worthy, as one in a million, as fierce, as limitless is truly radical, especially in a world that is very good at creating limits. As we know, this world is very much like, oh, well, you have to go to college. Oh, well, you have to have a certain amount of money in your bank account. Oh, well, you have to look a certain way. You need to be a certain weight. Your hair needs to look a certain way. Everything, right? There's so many limits that the world likes to put on us. And so how badass is it to say, no, thank you. So let's redefine queen energy. Here's a few reframes for you to really just embrace and see that this is possible to live this way, that it's possible to see this in yourself. Queens don't conquer, they attract. When you talk about creation, being a creatrix, being a witch in business, in life, right? It's not about forcing. It's never about working with the power of the moon, the power of intention, the power of the magic within us. It's never about forcing, pushing, conquering. It's always about attracting. It's much, much more powerful energy to attract. Queens don't enslave, they include. It's not about a hostile takeover, right? When we talk about creating our queendom, it's about community. And it's like, do you want to be part of this community? Yes, no, you're in, you're included, right? We make sure that our lives and our businesses are inclusive, that it's a safe space for people to be truly themselves. We don't use language that isn't inclusive, right? We don't create hostile spaces. We include, and that is, again, part of our attraction power. Queens don't crush, they care. Another really key one. And queens don't command, they inspire. And last of all, queens don't take from others, they take their seat at the table. This is huge. This whole idea of competition, I'm in the coaching industry, this idea of like, oh, this coach is better than this one, or like we're somehow competing against each other. I just purely reject that idea. I don't think it doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to any of us, but I choose that it doesn't apply to me. I get to take my seat at the table with the other queens, and so do you. There's plenty for everyone. We're creating more and more and more all the time. So when if you love this, if you're just like tingling, you're like, ooh, yes, I love this reframe. I love this idea. I'm really excited and empowered by this idea of queen energy to awaken your own inner queen. This is like a little phrase that always comes to me that just helps me tap right in. With laser cosmic insights from their astrology and human design, cosmic queens reach for the stars and discover they are one. We are the stars. We are made of stardust. It's not out there somewhere in the distant future. It isn't once we lose 10 pounds. It isn't once we have 1,000 people on our email list. We are already queens. We are already stars now. Let's talk about your rising sign. So if you want to really step into this queen energy and start to nourish and nurture this in yourself, I want to give you a cosmic point to start working with. So the first point I want to give you, I absolutely love working with the angles. This is a huge part of my business, especially the midheaven. But I wanted to start because the topic of this summit is self-care and self-love. I want to start with the rising sign, because also known as your ascendant, by the way. If you're newer to astrology, the rising sign is the same thing as the ascendant. So this is a brilliant place to start with self-love and self-care and really awakening that inner queen energy. So first of all, let's define the terms. What is the rising sign, right? I used to be a debater. I'm always like, let's define the terms. Such a nerd. Okay, so it's the cusp of the first house. Okay, so this is like a very, like a birth chart outline with no planets that you can see, right? No signs. But you have the 12 houses. So there are always 12 houses in everyone's astrological birth chart. The cusp of the first house, and we call it the cusp because you read the birth chart going counterclockwise, is the rising sign or the ascendant. And what this represents in your chart, it represents your identity, and it represents this internal focus, this nocturnal focus, this idea that you have a relationship with yourself, and this is represented by this placement in the chart. So your relationship with yourself, how you see yourself, how you see your identity, is your rising sign. So you can see why this would be very important as a starting point for working with self-love and self-care. It's like you have to see yourself first, then accept, then love, right? So this is how you see yourself. It's also what activates you on your hero's journey. I have a really exciting program about the hero's journey. And if you're in Astrology Hub, you've probably seen my masterclass on this already. But on the hero's journey, it's coming I was going to say in Sagittarius. It's coming in November in Sagittarius season. There's going to be this amazing program about the hero's journey. But the beginning point of the hero's journey is your rising sign. It's what gets you out of your ordinary world into the extraordinary world. It pushes you out off the couch, out of your house to take action on your journey. Your inner leader, this is what I really call the rising sign. I call this your inner leader. Your inner leader, you could call it your inner queen, needs to be nourished so that your outer leader or your outer queen, which is the midheaven, can shine. I have a separate program on this if anyone's interested in really talking about their outer leader, branding, all that good stuff. So how do we get started? Okay, so number one, we recognize the desires of the rising sign, and I'm going to give you a cheat sheet right now for that. Recognize what are the desires of your rising sign. And then number two, take action to satisfy those desires in a positive way. So you want to make sure that what are my desires? What are the things that get me out of the house onto the hero's journey? And what are the actions that I can do to satisfy those and really nourish those for myself? Okay, so take screenshots now. I'm going to have 2 pages of this. These are the desires of your rising sign. So this is, of course, you could write a whole essay for each one of these, but here's a little snippet. Here's a little gem for you to take away and nurture yourself with. So if you're an Aries rising, Aries ascendant, you would say you desire a challenge. What inspires you on your journey is a chance to be independent. For Taurus, your desire is a garden of delights. And what inspires you on your journey is a chance to enjoy the finer things. For Gemini, your desire is a new idea. You want a new idea. What's something new that I can learn, that I can be inspired by, right? And you want a chance to sharpen your intellect. So as I'm reading through these, think about your self-care. Self-care is not only bubble baths and massages, although I love those so much, but it's also how do you satisfy your desires? Like if your desire is to learn something new, Your self-care has got to be learning something new, right? It's simple. So Cancer, simple but deep. Cancer, the desire is a heart connection. And what inspires you on the journey is a chance to sharpen your intellect. Leo, what you desire is a party. And what inspires your journey, I love this one, by the way. Leo desires a party, always, always, always. And what inspires you on your journey is a chance to feel alive. So for those Leo risings out there, what is really important is that they actually allow themselves the time, the space to do something that makes them feel alive. It's probably not going to be taking a nap. It's going to be something else, something activating. Virgo, they desire a problem to solve. They are the problem solvers. They love that. What is a problem that they can solve? And what inspires them on their journey is a chance to improve something. Libra, their desire is a cause. Libra is the activist. They love to fight for fairness, for beauty, for harmony, for collaboration. What inspires them on their journey is a chance to bring harmony and balance. For Scorpio, the desire is a transformation. Scorpio is always seeking, Scorpio rising, remember this is your rising sign, is always seeking a transformation and a chance to experience something profound, right? So your self-care is going to be all about that. Experience something profound. Sagittarius, just put Sag because it's such a long one. The desire is an adventure. They love to go on an adventure. Sag risings. If you have any friends that are Sag risings, they can't sit still. They got to go on an adventure. What inspires their journey is a chance to write a worthwhile story. The Capricorn rising, the desire is a test. They want to be tested. They want to see what they're made of. And so what inspires their journey is a chance to stretch their capabilities. For Aquarius, their desire is an experiment. And what really inspires them on their journey is a chance to go off the beaten path. For Pisces, it's a vision. And what inspires their journey is a chance to touch the eternal. This is so, so powerful. I'm Pisces rising. Oh, that speaks to my soul. So think about these when you're considering creating your self-care practice, creating your self-love practice. It's not going to touch your heart if it's just a massage and what you need is to feel alive as a Leo rising, right? So really consider that and get creative with your self-love and self-care. Now I want to tell you just a little bit about my philosophy of the royal treatment. So first of all, as a queen, to nurture and nourish your inner queen, self-care is required. We all carry this queen energy and we all deserve to be treated like a queen. And it's not about someone else swooping in and saving you on their white horse. It's about you prioritizing yourself. It's about you giving yourself the gift of being the queen and supporting yourself as that queen, really leaning into your self-care. So here are my steps for you. Okay, simple but profound. Number one, set aside a day per week for what I call queen time. And this really needs to be 3 to 5 hours. Now, who's a busy mom out here? Yes, hello, hello. Who's a busy mom with a toddler, 2 years or younger? Yeah. I understand that it's hard. And this is something that I only really started to do this year because I recognized, oh my God, if I really want to grow my business to the level where like right now I'm making consistent 10K months, like I want to grow it, grow it, grow it. I can't do that if I'm not taking care of myself. I can't do that if my cup isn't full. And so really setting aside one day where you can have 3 to 5 hour chunk consecutively of queen time. You can go out of the house, you can lock yourself in your room with a good book, whatever it is that you need to do, make sure you set aside this time. Look to your, number two, look to your rising sign desires for inspiration for how to spend your QT, as I call it, queen time. Number three, notice if you struggle to make this appointment happen. If so, start making yourself a bigger priority. You need to be the priority in your business and life, right? I talk business because I coach a lot of people on business. This is so important. If you are not the priority in your business will not serve and support you in the way that you desire. It just can't. You have to be important. You have to be number one, you, not just what you want to create, not just the bills you're trying to pay, you. So if you are struggling with this, just notice, okay, I see I'm struggling. I have compassion. I love myself. Clearly, this is an area of growth. Clearly, this is an area. I'm so glad I know this now, because I want my life and business to have all the things that I've ever dreamed of. So I'm going to make this a priority now. And number 4, remember, if the queen isn't supported, the queendom won't run at its best. And that's what we're here to do. We're not here to be the best. We're here to be our best among the other queens who are also being their best. So we have to support ourselves. All right. So before I go into my last, I'm just going to let you know about a program that I have coming up. I just want to share with you, I'm so honored that you took the time to watch this, that you took the time, that you were inspired by this. And I hope that you go on now and take it seriously, right? Really start to see yourself. Maybe I love doing Post-it notes, putting it on the mirror to remind myself every day. I have a mirror right in front of me in my desk. Also, I do phone backgrounds. Like right now, my phone background says, I am the one who gathers the queens. It's a picture of me, you can't see, but from my queen photo shoot. This is so important that you don't forget yourself in the midst of the busyness of life, in the midst of the importance of your dreams. You are number one, right? You are the queen. And my bonus. So remember, each speaker in this summit has a bonus. My bonus, I can't wait for you to love it and do it. So it is a 3-day masterclass. Normally it's 222 pounds, British pounds. I'm giving it to you free for being in this summit. It's called the Wise Queen Masterclass. So I'm doing a series of masterclasses this year. There are 3 of them. By the time this comes out, the second one will be on its way, which is going to be in October. Each queen is part of an underlying archetype that we all have. So we all have these 3 queens that live within us. The first one is the wise queen. This is the foundation. This is our inner strength. This is our intuition and our inner authority. So this is an incredible, if you love what I've talked about here today, very briefly, this is the deeper dive. There's a beautiful meditation. There is so much that you can start to work with and start to learn about really activating your inner queen. So you're getting that for free. So when you go to the link, just go to the Facebook group where it says, what email did you sign up for this? Just put Empowered Modern Witches Summit so that I know that that's where you're coming from. Okay, and last but not least, really quickly, I wanted to share a program that I have coming up. So hopefully you can see this okay. So this is the STAR. So this is my signature program. I'm so excited to be running this again in October. So it starts October 18th, but I'm remagicifying this incredible course. So it's a foundation course in astrology for coaches. So for anyone who really is in the service business, who wants to work with clients and with other people around using astrology to support them, then this is for you. So if you're a mentor, if you're a coach, if you're an intuitive guide, if you're a leader of any kind, whatever the word is, the STAR is for you. So this is a self-paced foundation course. You get to learn it all. So you get to learn all about whether you are about the planets, you get to learn about the aspects, you get to learn about the house system, you get to learn about the angles. I love teaching the angles. Obviously, we talked about the rising sign today. There are worksheets, there are quizzes every week. There's so much that you get out of this program. I've heard from people that this program, they've taken other programs. This is one of the absolute best astrology programs that they've ever had in their life. There have been incredible people who've gone through this. I've run it 3 times already. Now I'm doing it as a self-paced course. So there are pre-recorded videos for you to watch, but I want to do a hybrid because I love being live with people. So there's going to be a live kickoff with me, and also you're going to get a minimum of 2 Q&As with me. So as you go through the course self-paced, you'll also get a chance to ask questions. You'll also get a chance to do some live practice with me. So it's a bit of like a hybrid program, but you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. You can just purely do it self-paced. So it's 888 pounds investment. There are going to be launch bonuses. So at the time I'm recording this, I don't want to reveal them yet, but it's going to be so exciting. So just email me, message me, and I will let you know what the launch bonuses are. And there's also a cosmic coaching certificate available. You need to do a little bit more, a few more classes and things to do that. But if you're interested in the certificate, of course, let me know. Then you can be a cosmic coach as well and just go out there and spread the good news. So if you're interested in the star, let me know. Here is a slide with some contact details. So you can contact me on Instagram at Cosmic Queen HQ or at my email, rachel@cosmicqueenhq.com. I love you all so much. I'm going to say goodbye for now. As I always say, keep your crown on and keep reaching for the stars. Mwah. Love you all so much. Bye.